Yeah, well, look, Doug Ford just went through an election. I have differences of opinion with him. I don't like how he's managed healthcare or education. But out of respect, we didn't say anything. Federal party, we didn't get in his way. When it was our turn to run an election, he couldn't stay out of our business. Always getting his criticisms and all his opinions out, distracting our campaign, trying to make it about him, trying to position himself as some kind of political genius that we needed to be taking cues from.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's going on, Canucks? How you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. So after a vigorous election and ups and downs and merry-go-rounds, finally we have a fourth term of the Liberals. And after rigorous drinking and numerous shots to the face, I found myself stumbling once again to the computer to make a video for my valued Canucks. Well, while I was gone, a lot has happened in a day. We have a referendum with Alberta, and we have all types of taxes that are coming into effect, an equity tax, a consumer's tax that's supposed to come back. And I'm just assuming that every Canadian's going to look like this picture. Let's get into the video.
Sabotage the Conservative campaign. That's your words. You said he was a hype man for the Liberals. Take me through how you see that.
Yeah, well, look, Doug Ford just went through an election. I have differences of opinion with him. I don't like how he's managed healthcare or education. But out of respect, we didn't say anything. Federal party, we didn't get in his way. When it was our turn to run an election, he couldn't stay out of our business. Always getting his criticisms and all his opinions out, distracting our campaign, trying to make it about him, trying to position himself as some kind of political genius that we needed to be taking cues from.
One Conservative strategist says Giovanni isn't alone.
There are a lot of Conservatives who have been frustrated with the Ford government's kind of lack of acting on Conservative principles. You could have those kind of conversations behind the scenes, but the fact that I think the respective parties let that escalate to such a public spectacle, that's bad for all Conservatives.
I see Doug Ford as a problem for Ontario and for Canada. I think he's not doing a great job in running this province, and now he's trying to exercise his influence over other levels of government, and it's not like this guy is doing anything particularly well. I mean,
you did used to work for him.
I did. I'm speaking from experience. I tried to fix problems in this province, and he kept getting in his way and all his goons around him all the time. They wouldn't make anything better, and now we're seeing him because this guy's a political genius because he beat Bonnie Crombie and Stephen Del Duca, and now we got to sit around getting advice from him? No. He has taken the provincial Conservative Party and turned it into something hollow, unprincipled, something that doesn't solve problems. He's glad-handing with Chrystia Freeland, having coffees and lattes with Mark Carney, and I'm sitting here saying we need to be fighting for change and something new and something different, not being a hype man to the Liberal Party.
Yeah, all in all, pretty disappointing. We could make a million reasons of why, or excuses, of why Pierre did not win the election. We can say that he stuck to one topic. We can say that it was the Donald Trump threat. We can say that it was Mark Carney stealing all of his policies and not having any of his own to run off of. We could say that it was the fact that Doug Ford was in Ontario basically spreading hate towards his own party 2 weeks before an election. Now, all in all, it is what it is. The results are what the results are going to be. The best thing that we got out of this is that we have a majority Conservative government, which usually in minority governments, they don't really last long, average in 8 to 12 months. So there's still some hope that we could be back to the polls by next year. If not, we still got another 3.5 years to go. All in all, I am happy with the results from the Conservatives. They did show up. They did do a lot of things to put their names forward. They came out and vote. We did have the highest voter turnout since 1988. So that right there, we're breaking history. It does suck that we didn't get the results that we wanted, but ultimately I am happy with the turnout of the Conservatives, and we will get them next time. This time it was all based on fear. It was based on a lot of talking points and people not really understanding that this wasn't an election to win because of a party. This was an election to win because of Canada. And it was bigger than the parties. It was more or less trying to save Canada from the hell that we've been going through for the past 10 years. But a lot of voters, I'm not going to discriminate against any type of particular voter, but a lot of voters decided to choose Liberal or find a way to choose Liberal so that it would discourage or deter from the Conservative vote. even though we've just had 10 years of the Liberals and the price of living has gone up, the cost of living has gone up, food banks, interest, taxes, everything has raised. And let's not start with economic growth in this Canada, because we have not seen anything on our GDP growth as far as the past 9 years, going on 10. And then now we're going to introduce more cash, more inflation, and higher taxes, and reintroducing the carbon tax into society, which is almost 50% of your utility bills. But we're going to have to bite the bullet altogether as Canadians. But I don't want to hear no complaining from the other side, because if you voted for Liberal, you voted for this. Now, we can't have all doom and gloom. We've got to have some type of glory and some type of light for the future. So let's hopefully erase what Justin Trudeau's done and hope for the best with this new candidate, Mark Carney, and hopefully he doesn't destroy Canada, even though a lot of his policies are designed to destroy Canada. But we'll hope for the best, being Canadians. Not going to be oblivious to the fact, but we're going to have to bite the bullet and get through, and hopefully sooner or later we can see a change. For now, it's going to be the same old, same old. It is what it is. And if you all could, please hit me with that like, that subscribe, maybe even a share. All right, I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.